somebody had a question about how to use the utility charges paid as household expenses as our business expenses. So I know you covered that a little bit in the slides, but could we go over that just for that question?
Yeah, so well, you've got the easy option first. So if you don't work that regularly from home, the easiest one is normally HMRC's approved rate. Now it's not much, but it is £6 a week. You can just claim it. You don't need to do any calculations. You don't need to keep any bills. You can just claim the flat rate of £6 a week and be done. However, for those that do work more regularly at home, the alternative option is to add up the utility costs. Now, there's always some confusion about what you can or can't include within the calculation. But HMRC have said for limited company directors, it should only be the costs of the actual utilities themselves. So that might be, yeah, heat, light, sewerage, and water. You mustn't include things like council tax or mortgage interest or rent. Any fixed costs like that have to be excluded from the calculation. So once you've got all your utility costs, what you would then do is you'd look at your property as a whole. You would ignore things like bathrooms and toilets, and you would just look at the other rooms, so sort of lounges and bedrooms. And then what you would do is you would apportion those utility costs by the space used by your business. So that might be one room out of four. And then what you would then do is have a look at how much time you actually spend in that room, then also working. So if that's, yeah, 3 or 4 days, you would again apportion it by the days spent working from home. So it's quite a long-winded calculation if you try and do the alternative. But it's always best that, yes, if you do work substantially, have a look at doing the two calculations to see which one might be better for you, and then use that.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you. A really good explanation of the two options. I think I'd end up doing the HMRC one because I'm lazy, but do you, and actually to add to that, like, do you find that there is a big difference when people do take the time to calculate it?
Yeah, so it's quite surprising. By the time you've apportioned it by the rooms and then the hours, people sort of then get down to quite a low figure. And like you say, most people just go, do you know what? Rather than having to do this calculation every single month or every time I get a new bill, I'll just do the £6 per week because it's easy. But we do have some cases where people are working full time from home, and that's when it really does make a difference. You know, if you're doing 4 or 5 days from home, doing those utility costs, especially with the, cost of living increases, then actually that is a better option for those.